Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Dr. Jeffrey Alban.
Morning, Mike.
It's this time again. Seems like last year was here not long ago.
Time keeps going faster and faster. We started on September 6th, and it's already here.
I know it. It's crazy, isn't it? It takes. What we're talking about is the Blue Ridge Singers, and time for your Christmas concert.
Indeed.
Or concerts, I should say. So this is a lot of work. I know that it sounds like to stand up there and sing, but it isn't that easy, is it?
No, we've been working hard, and I'm happy to say that the choir is back up to almost pre-COVID numbers. We got a robust sound that's quite balanced. We've got a lot of new people. We had some people return to the choir, which is great. So we've just had a fun time getting the music together. I've tried to add some more repertoire this go around since the last year we were just recycling repertoire.
Sure.
So just trying to get the choir back in the groove of learning music quickly and making it good.
Yeah. And you have a really good variety type of people that are in the singers. They're not just all young people. You got all ages, it seems like.
That they like to describe the choir as intergenerational.
Oh, that's a new word. Intergenerational.
That's good. we have parents and their children in the choir. Of course, we have some senior citizen folks, but we have some college students, high school students. Actually, one of my students from Christendom is in the choir too.
Right.
So.
Well, you're a busy guy because you do a lot of stuff in this music world. I mean, you're teaching at Christendom, and you're doing this, and you have lessons and.
I have an active weekly schedule, we should say. I do teach organ over at Christendom College, and I have 6 students over there. Plus, I'm the director of music at St. John's, and if anybody drives by the church, they know that there's a lot going on there. So we're quite busy there with rehearsals during the week and the masses on the weekend. And then I got Blue Ridge Singers.
Right. So tell us a little bit about this year's repertoire.
The concert's entitled The Joy of Waiting, and it's music for Advent and Christmas, more so on the Advent side of things. I've wanted to give a program like this for a long time. In all the press release stuff we've been putting out, I always say that the repertoire for Advent is largely overlooked because the season is so short during the year. It's only 4 weeks. But there are so many thematic materials within that season liturgically. Darkness being a big one, the life of St. John the Baptist, the Annunciation of Mary, and of course the coming of the Christ child. And we're going to cover all those thematic components within the repertoire that we're doing.
All within an hour.
Yeah, it may be a little more than that. We want to make up for lost time. But we'll have some Gregorian chant on the program. Everybody knows O Come, Emmanuel.
Right.
And I stumbled upon a magnificent setting of that tune by this English composer, Graham Ross, that has this fabulous organ accompaniment to go with it. And Dan Miller, who's our accompanist, he's been working it out great, and it's just very, very impactful. We have another setting of Gregorian chant from the O Antiphons of Advent by Kevin Siegfried. That's totally different than the O Come, Emmanuel. But just a dark, mysterious environment with the chant going over a drone tone with the organ and the basses in the choir. And then everybody comes together and there's great parallel motion in the piece. It's called O Oriens by Kevin Siegfried. And then we'll also have, everybody knows the Messiah. So we're going to do And the Glory of the Lord from the Messiah by Handel. And then the big piece on the Advent front, we're going to do the Herbert Howells Magnificat Nunc Dimittis.
Can't even say that.
I know, it's a lot of words. But that's all part of the visitation story when Mary went to visit Elizabeth. That was the prayer she prayed, the Magnificat, my soul magnifies the Lord. Great work. There's a lot of focus on the women of the choir in that piece. They have a lot of solo stuff to do. And then we'll have a solo tenor as well in the Nunc Dimittis. And again, Dan has worked up the organ part there, and it's going to be fabulous. And of course, all this repertoire for Advent is leading up to a little section of Christmas music at the end that is definitely set apart from the rest of the stuff. We're going to have a Jingle Bells Calypso. We'll have a barbershop setting of Frosty the Snowman sung by the gentlemen of the choir. And then a really fun setting of I Saw Three Ships Come Sailing In by Wolfram Buchenberg, who's a composer we've done before in Blue Ridge Singers. It's pretty advanced repertoire. The middle verses, I heard, and all the bells on earth shall ring, but the choir breaks out into 6 parts, and each part gets to be a bell.
Interesting.
And there's all the text, it sounds like bells. They're singing ding and bong and bang. It's wild.
It's like a rap song, right?
No. Tasteful.
That's it. It's always, I tell you, when you're listening to this, I know a lot of people aren't say it's not something you hear on the radio every day.
That's correct.
And but you know that people go and you can appreciate it, and it gives you goosebumps.
For sure. And I try not to get too far into the weeds so far as all the musical items that happen within each piece are concerned. But, anyone can come and hear a choral concert and hopefully have some degree of appreciation for what's going on. And I just try to make sure you have a little bit of framework for what you're about to hear.
Right.
So that you're not like, oh, well, I like that. What was that?
Yeah, exactly.
I try to check off all the boxes as we go so you're not left there in the dark.
Yeah, like I don't have a clue what they're, I can't understand Latin or whatever it is, but you don't need to know. I mean, it's just the music just moves you on some of these things.
For sure, and especially at Christmas time.
Yeah.
But never fear on the language front. We always have the text of everything we're singing in the program, as well as the translations of all the foreign texts.
There you go. So no surprises.
That Howells piece, the Magnificat, while the title is in Latin, the text we're actually singing will be in English.
There you go. So don't be afraid. It's great to go to these concerts. It's it's well attended. They're free concerts. Mm-hmm. And you put them in several locations. We got 3 locations this year.
Yep.
So where are they at?
We're going to start, I can't believe I'm saying this, a week from Sunday on December 4th. The concert's at 4 p.m. at the First Baptist Church of Winchester. And then we'll have 5 days off, and then we'll do it again for a full weekend, Friday, December 9th, at the Front Royal Presbyterian Church at 7:30 p.m. Now, that's a change from the last 2 years.
Right. I was going to say
we had been at the Methodist Church during COVID, but now we're going to go back over to the Front Royal Presbyterian. Friday, December 9th at 7:30. And then the last concert will be on Sunday, December 11th at 4 at the Trinity Episcopal Church in Upperville.
Right. 3 great places.
Oh, yeah. We've been rehearsing at Trinity Church in Upperville this year, and that's our new rehearsal location. And I'll tell you, it has been such a good thing for the choir. We have an excellent rehearsal space there, great instruments to use, and we have the flexibility of rehearsing in the hall where we can hear each other really well to learn the notes, and plus the ability to just walk across the parking lot to the church and sing in the performance space.
Right. That doesn't happen all the time.
Nope.
Sometimes you're rehearsing in rooms that aren't really ideal for this type of music.
Correct. Or there's other stuff going on.
Right.
Of course, when you're in a choir, it's important to be able to hear everything, especially the other people singing around you. And sometimes, when church buildings go up, the last thing they think about is acoustics.
Of course.
But that's a very important component.
I'll just put a big speaker up there. That'll fix it. That doesn't work.
Sure.
I've seen that a lot. And they do that after the fact, and they try to go back and correct it. And
that's why we're here, to help take care of these problems before they actually present themselves.
All right. So like I said, it's going to have it December the 4th in Winchester. December the 9th
at Front Royal
Presbyterian, and then the 11th in Upperville.
At Trinity.
So you can go to all 3.
Mm-hmm. Sure. We'll be happy to have you. Also, we're going to have our receptions back this year.
Okay.
Which I am very pleased about. I always enjoy seeing the audience and getting to talk to everybody afterward, as do the singers. We like to make that a focus of the whole performance itself. Not just the singing and everything, but we like to be able to meet the people who were there.
Right.
If anybody has any questions, or just to show our appreciation for them being there.
Right. And the choir gets a lot out of that as well, too, when people have that interaction. It puts a face to the audience. And
of course, and as we talked about before, it's a great group of people. And you never know who you might meet there, or what you might come up with to talk about.
Right. I've been to these things before, and then all of a sudden, I didn't know you were in that choir.
Be surprised who you might run into.
Yeah, it was surprising. Some I do know, and other ones I said, I didn't know you did this. And it surprises you that your neighbor is sometimes is in these groups, in the community band or the singers. Or
sure, and we have people from all over the area.
Yeah.
Front Royal, Winchester, Fort Valley, couple of my
All
students.
along the Blue Ridge.
Yep, that's what we're called, the Blue Ridge Singers. It all makes sense.
But it's a fabulous group. You do a fabulous work. It's always enjoyable. It's just a moving experience during this time of the year, and it does expose you to some things that you like you say you don't hear on the radio every day. And but it's enjoyable. It's very uplifting, motivating. I mean, it kind of gets you in the spirit of the holiday. I think it's a great work.
That's the idea for sure. And I always say there'll be something for everyone.
Even kids. I see a lot of kids come to these things.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And they're into it. I mean,
Yeah.
my children especially. I mean, if we let my son get up there and conduct the concert, he'd do it in 2 seconds. He can't wait for that opportunity. He actually can't wait to be in the choir, period.
Yeah.
But maybe in 2 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I said, there's something for everybody. Don't ever look at it as just a boring choral concert.
Right.
We are not about that.
No.
We are making it a all-inclusive choir concert with all sorts of repertoire represented. So you won't fall asleep, but you'll definitely be drawn in to the performance by at least one thing we're singing.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. So it's going to be December the 4th in Winchester.
At 4 o'clock.
And we'll put all those dates and stuff here in the story as well. And then again on the 9th in Front Royal and the 11th in Upperville. So it sounds like you got your work cut out for you.
We always do. It's been a rough semester, though, with sickness and everything else going on. So just pray for us that we get it all together.
Yeah.
We're having one last working rehearsal tomorrow, but we'll do it.
It's great.
One last plug.
Sure.
I'll be hearing auditions for new singers if anybody's interested through the end of the year. We have plenty of openings in all the voice parts for sure. We have a student scholarship program available that we'd like to make available for high school and college students that might want to expand their musical experience. We have funding to cover dues and the choir uniform. It's all available for them. Next spring, we are going to present the Into Eternity concert that we were going to have in spring of 2020. We all know what was going on then. We had worked up that whole concert beautifully and then never got to give it. So we have a lot of returning members in the choir, so we're going to go back and we are going to give the concert of all that music in the spring.
Well, let's talk real quick and just give a plug because it's a free concert. You have sponsors that help you sponsor this thing. You also take up a free will offering. I noticed that. It costs money to do these things. So if you have an interest in this kind of work and you want to be a sponsor, get hold of Jeff here, and he will we'll put that information as well. Because I know your little program book has some sponsors and stuff. So check that out when you go to the concert and give some support and some love to the Blue Ridge Singers. I think they'd appreciate it.
Indeed. And we appreciate all the sponsors for sure. And just to let the sponsors know, if you do decide to put an advertisement in the program, I can assure you that it will be seen by a lot of people.
Yes.
We cover a lot of geographic area, and we have a good audience following.
Right.
Because in the spring, we'll take the show to Manassas as well. So that's always something to think about.
Great. But it's a good work. It's a great organization. And if you have the opportunity to support it, at least just attend the concerts, you will enjoy it. I know you have a few people that go to every one of the concerts. So they'll come again. I talked to some groupies one time.
Right,
Yeah.
the BRS groupies.
Yeah.
They're out there. I'll also mention while we're still sitting here, our website, www.blueridgesingers.org. You can find all the concert information there. You can find all the advertising information there. The audition information there is there as well. I always say, please don't let the word audition scare you. I was in that spot once before, and I remember the sweaty palms walking into the door.
Sure.
It's nothing like that. It's just for me to get to meet you and just to hear you sing, to make sure you're in the right vocal placement in the choir, because we don't want anybody ruining their voice.
Right.
Anyway, we look forward to seeing everybody at the concerts.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Can't wait.
And you know, like on the 12th, you'll be really happy when it's all over.
Oh, no. We like being in the performance.
Yes. Well, you have to do this 90% of this other stuff to get the 10% that you like.
That's right.
And that's what almost every organization and business people know. Oh, you get all these fun things. Yeah, but it's a lot of work to get
there.
To get to the stage takes a lot of work. Again, Jeff, I really appreciate you coming in, telling us and informing us of what's going on with the Blue Ridge Singers. And we will probably see, we'll see you on the 9th, because I can get the Front Royal Presbyterian Church pretty easily. So, but we'll check it out.
That works. We
All right,
look forward to
thanks.
seeing you there, and I appreciate you having me here today.
And happy holidays.
You too.
Okay.